Alrighty, hello again everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing a movie, an animated movie, just because I've been really just going through my Netflix list, although right now, contradictory to one of my previous videos that I said I was going to stick with Netflix, I am switching over to Amazon Prime as I'm filming this video to watch the Rings of Power show, just to uh, get a review done of that whenever that might come out. I don't know. It might be a while before that review comes out because I'm trying to just keep my content in order of the way I am filming it as best as I can. Today we are going to be reviewing The Sea Beast, which is actually an animated movie, but sometimes animated movies can be just as good as real life adaptations. Although this is the first one that I'm aware of that was made of this series. Now, this probably could have had a higher rating. It probably could have been PG-13, but it says the rating here is G. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there was no like cursing or swearing or blood in it, but there was enough in it to maybe make it a little bit higher of a rating. Let's just say that much. Yeah, I would say frightening scenes for children, at least, which is kind of why I don't make any of my reviews for kids. But also, I'm, I'm just trying to bring this to an audience that I want to grasp, which is more of an adult audience anyway, or an old, like teenage, older audience, right? So, yeah, because I would imagine that would, especially with being how old I am, like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm going to be 29 in a few days, so, well, a week and a bit, as of this recording, anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to draw in a little bit of a like my age group. Even though some of this might not do well with my age group, it is what it is. I'm reviewing what I like, and I'm working on my list of stuff that people have recommended to me. So, and I've got 3 other lists on the go right now too. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, and I got to go through my list of movies to review on YouTube as well because I am behind on that. So I got to get that down a little bit as well. But anyway, that's kind of my, I guess you could say intro. I always kind of ramble in the intros, don't I? But anyhow, so this movie is starring Carl Urban, Zeres Angel Hader, Jared Harris, and Marion Jean Baptiste. I don't really know if I've seen her in anything else. That name sounds really familiar, but okay, she was in RoboCop in 2014. What else has she been in? There's got to be something else I've seen her in. Good lord. Oh, Edge of Tomorrow. Okay. So I've seen her in a few things. Oh, she was in Sons of Anarchy. Alrighty. That might be where I recognize her from. Oh, she was in Takers. I think I've seen that. What else was she in? Good lord, I'm just doing like a whole list of... just looking through her whole discography now. Anyway, so this movie is about this ship called the... oh my god, wow, it was right on my tip of the... Unevitable. Unevitable, I think, was the name. Right? Do 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 do. Yeah, I believe it was Unevitable. That doesn't sound right though, does it? Okay, we're gonna just look this up because that doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't sound right to me. And sometimes I can never spell in these videos, so bear with me. Ship in the Sea Beast. Oh, come on. That's not it. Because that was the ship that she was on. What the heck is the name of the ship? Good grief. Okay. Name of Captain Crow's ship. Yeah, I hate when I have to do this. Crow's ship in the Sea Beast. Again, I can't spell for some reason. Every time I try to do these videos, I have the hardest time spelling. And when I'm not doing these videos, it's fine. That was the inevitable. Okay. So, yes, it was the inevitable. I was right. Okay, so they are the, I guess, top ship in the sea as far as that goes. When it comes to hunting monsters, anyway, they are the ship that everybody goes to, yeah. So the king and queen's ship was the Imperator, I want to say. Yeah, I don't know why they Imperator, that might be it. Anyway, let's just go back to IMDb here for a minute. Okay, so this story basically follows Jacob Holland, I guess, whose ship gets destroyed when he was just a child, and then Captain Crow picks him up and teaches him the way of obviously hunting these sea beasts. And Jacob kind of becomes legend in a whole bunch of books created by the kingdom, obviously, that say these sea beasts used to come ashore and ravage farms and take farmers right off of their land. And Macy's parents used to be on another ship. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of that either. But yeah, so she is impartial to thinking that that ship is the best because her parents, she's been told her whole life that her parents died heroes, fighting off all these sea beasts and so on and so forth. So she's, yeah, she wants to kind of live by the sword and die by the sword fighting these beasts. Because there was one quote that Jacob says, I think it was, you live a good life and die a great death or something. And he's been at sea since he was a child, so I think Macy kind of wants to follow in his footsteps because from her books, right, she's seen how brave of a warrior he is, and she wants to kind of embody that. But he says that the sea is no place for a child, obviously one who hasn't been raised on the sea, right, so he's kind of trying to protect her, but she stows away on the ship. And they end up finding her when they're going after this one creature. And the one creature's name, yeah, what was it? The main creature that they're after in the movie? Do 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 do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up too. I thought I had. She calls him Red, but that's not. Or she calls her Red because I guess the creature is female. Main creature in the sea beast. You would think I hadn't even seen the movie, but obviously I wouldn't be able to say as much as I had about the movie if I hadn't seen it, right? Okay, let's just see. No, the Prickleback was not. Well, yeah, I know that. Ah, the Red Bluster, okay, was the main monster that Captain Crow has been trying to take out for 30 years. And they're hot on its tail, but then they end up having to go and fight this other creature to save this other ship. I believe it was. Yeah, it was the Prickleback that they fought at the very beginning, and it almost drags him down to the bottom of the ocean, but somehow he is saved. And then they end up fighting. Yeah, they end up fighting at one point the Red Bluster, and eventually he ends up poisoning it because he has to make this deal with this witch, I guess, basically, who, yeah, I guess basically he traded the whole crew for her ending up being able to capture this creature, right? And then in the end, Macy exposes the kingdom for what they've done and writing all these books about how, yeah, obviously these sea beasts were ravaging this area, but I guess they never had been. It was all just a lie. So in the end, the Red Bluster ends up being saved, and I think, no, Captain Crow doesn't die. But he does kind of turn on Jacob eventually, closer to the end of the movie, because he's just greedy and really just wants to get this final kill under his belt. He says that Jacob's turned his back on the way of the hunt, and so on and so forth, and yeah, it's just a huge mess. It turns out that Captain Crow is more of the villain than really anybody else in the movie, and obviously the people in the kingdom who have lied their whole lives about what might have actually went down with all these famous hunters and how the whole thing really came to be, because it seemed like they were just using the creatures to obviously get more money out of everything else. But yeah, having Macy and Jacob trapped on the island there when they were together, and she ends up taking this one creature in as a pet, and then just being able to kind of connect with, obviously the Red Bluster was pretty insane, because Jacob tries, but she ends up just being able to kind of teach it with movements instead of words, because obviously it can't understand what they're saying, and she ends up helping the creature, like taking all the harpoons and stuff out of it. So yeah, yeah, really cool movie. And the most terrifying scene, obviously, is when I think, yeah, they're about to be dragged under the water by the Red Bluster, the whole ship, the inevitable ship, and obviously Captain Crow doesn't want them to cut the ropes, but Macy ends up cutting them free, and then Captain Crow tells Jacob to bring them aboard, and the creature ends up coming up and swallowing them whole with their boat. But the terrifying thing before that was when all of a sudden the Red Bluster is behind Macy and Jacob in the water, and you can just see it descend and the eyes just like disappearing into the water. I was like, oh my god, okay. That was slightly terrifying, even for an animated movie. But yeah, I really did thoroughly enjoy this movie. I gave it a 9 out of 10, and it got a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, but my rating was 9 out of 10. So I'm assuming most people really did enjoy this movie, for those who have seen it. And if you haven't seen it, hopefully, I would imagine this one's probably going to be staying on Netflix, because it is a Netflix film, I do believe. It says in select theaters and on Netflix, so that was probably in the States that it was in select theaters, I would assume. But yeah, I would highly recommend going to watch this movie. It is, yeah, I would say it's probably for young, young adults and adults. And by that I mean probably 13 and above. I would, like, as far as animated movies go, yeah, I would probably wait. Um, yeah, because there were some scenes in this that I was like, this probably could have had a higher rating. But hey, and if it had a even 14A rating, they could have done a little bit more with it. But it is what it is. But as this movie stands, I did really thoroughly enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next review. Bye bye for now.